Raj Malhotra was a 28-year-old software engineer living in Bangalore. By all appearances, his life was comfortable. He had a good job, a decent salary, and a small apartment he could call his own. But inside, Raj was stuck. Every morning, he would hit the snooze button 3 times, waking up just in time to rush to work. His days were filled with deadlines, fast food, social media scrolling, and late-night binge watching. He'd often say, "Tomorrow I'll start fresh. Tomorrow I'll get serious." But tomorrow never came. Raj wasn't lazy. He was exhausted, not physically, but mentally. Every week felt the same, and deep down, he knew he was capable of more. One rainy evening, after a particularly tough day at work, Raj sat staring at his reflection in the window. He saw tired eyes, a hunched posture, and a man who had traded his dreams for temporary comfort. That night, he opened a book a friend had gifted him months ago. It was called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. What started as idle reading soon became a spark. One line struck him like lightning. Change might not be fast, and it isn't always easy, but with time and effort, almost any habit can be reshaped. Raj closed the book, took a deep breath, and whispered, "One change, just one." The next morning, Raj made a decision that would change his life. He would wake up at 5 a.m. every day, no excuses. It sounded simple, but for someone who had never woken up before 8 a.m., it was a mountain. The first morning was brutal. His alarm rang and every cell in his body begged him to stay in bed. But something stronger, something deeper pulled him up. He stumbled to the bathroom, splashed water on his face, and stood in front of the mirror. Day at a time, he told himself. He didn't have a master plan. On day 1, he just read. On day 2, he went for a walk. On day 3, he journaled. It wasn't about perfection. It was about showing up. And he did. Day after, Raj began to understand the habit loop Duhigg had written about. Cue, routine, reward. His cue was the alarm at 5 a.m. The routine, wake up, do something positive, read, walk, reflect. The reward, a growing sense of control, clarity, and confidence. Within 2 weeks, his body started adjusting. His mind felt sharper. The fog that had clouded his thoughts began to lift. With each passing day, Raj stacked new habits into his morning ritual. He started exercising for 15 minutes. He prepared a healthy breakfast. He even began learning a new skill, digital design, something he had always wanted to try but never had the time for. Time wasn't the problem, habits were. And now his were changing. Of course, it wasn't all smooth. There were days Raj wanted to quit. Nights he stayed up late, tempted to sleep in. Friends mocked him for his grandpa routine. His mind whispered, one missed day won't hurt. But Raj had made a promise to himself, and after tasting the power of momentum, he wasn't ready to throw it away. He learned to prepare. He kept his phone across the room to avoid snoozing. He planned his nights better. He surrounded himself with positive influences, books, podcasts, and people who inspired growth. He learned that willpower wasn't endless, but systems could carry him when motivation ran out. And so even on hard days, he didn't break the chain. 3 months in, Raj was a new man. He had lost 5 kilos, gained muscle, and felt more energetic than ever. But the real change was internal. He was more focused at work, more creative in his side projects, and more present in his relationships. He smiled more, complained less. He had a glow people noticed. His mornings had become sacred, his foundation. What shocked him most was how this one habit created a ripple effect. He started saving money. He read more books in 3 months than he had in 3 years. He launched a design page online, slowly gaining followers. All because of one decision, to wake up early, not for the world, but for himself. 6 months later, Raj faced a test. His company was downsizing. He was laid off. The old Raj would have spiraled into panic, but this Raj was different. He was prepared. He used his morning time to update his resume, apply for jobs, and network with connections. Meanwhile, his design page, once just a passion, had turned into a freelance gig. Clients started coming in. Slowly, it became sustainable. In 3 months, Raj wasn't looking for jobs anymore. He was building his own. He realized the layoff wasn't a curse. It was a blessing in disguise, because his habits had given him freedom, not just financial, but emotional. He had built resilience, brick by brick. A year later, Raj stood on a stage at a local entrepreneurship event. He shared his journey, how one habit transformed his life. The crowd was silent, hanging onto every word. He ended with this: greater than success isn't about giant leaps. It's about small, consistent steps in the right direction. The life you want is built by the habits you choose, and trust me, you have the power to choose. Every day, as the crowd applauded, Raj smiled, not because he had achieved everything, but because he had become someone who wouldn't stop trying. His journey wasn't about waking up early. It was about waking up to his potential. Moral of the story: the power of habit lies not in big changes, but in small ones done consistently. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Just start with one habit, one change, one decision. Because when you master your habits, you master your future.